Welcome to PPR Racing Division 1 Season 1 Race 4 out of 21. I am Kermit, and Cosmo will be joining me a little bit later. He's having trouble connecting to the Codesys server. So, I'm flying solo for the time being, but that'll hopefully not be all night. So, we're going to get ready for some action at Baku tonight. Um, let's go ahead, reintroduce our drivers as we did every week. We've had a couple changes this week. Nothing too drastic. All people you've seen before, but a couple team changes. Some people switching to reserves, some reserves coming active, etc. All right, let's take a look. In the order of constructors. Oh, sorry. We're looking at the Baku City Circuit today. We got 20 turns total. 8 to the right, 12 to the left. A minute 36.17 is the fastest repeatable lap time online. 26 laps total. Softs expected to last 7 to 9 laps. Mediums 13 to 16 laps. Hards 18 to 21 laps. The hard soft strategy is a very viable strategy at this track. We will see how the drivers are able to perform on tire degradation tonight. All right, in the order of Constructors' Championship standings, we have Ferrari, Rogue, and Ruda in first place. Rogue, fantastic finishes, fourth, first, and second at Australia, Bahrain, and China, respectively. Ruda with only one DNF, other than that, coming in the top five. New fact this week is Ruda. Man, I can't even pronounce it, but whatever his full screen name is the scientific name for the citrus family. We'll work on getting those updated some other time, or for next week. Get a little bit new information about the drivers, find out, get to know them a little bit better. But for this week, that's what we're running with. Mercedes, we've got Getchum and Cream with a 5th and 3rd place finish last week. Strong finish from them, keeps them in 2nd in the standings. Renault is now up to 3rd in the standings with a 1st from Capita Hood. Persian King being very consistent in 8th, 10th, and 17th. Baku, as you can see on the screen, prefers the street tracks, Persian King does, and Baku was his PPR season win. Expecting a good showing out of him tonight. Hopefully he can break into at least the top 5. Red Bull, we have Stoney and Shay B. Stoney, 9th last week. Shay B, 6th the week before that. Excuse me, last week as well. 14th the week before that, so a nice improvement from him. Let's see, trying to get some things set up, trying to get Kermit, or sorry, not Kermit, Cosmo in here as well. All right, after Red Bull, we have the next slide that I am attempting to hit next. And there we go. We've got Haas. We've got Sky Archangel, which is no longer on the team. I do not remember if he has been swapped yet, but he is currently on the reserve list. Left on Haas for this week. 2nd in Australia, 8th in Bahrain, and it did not start in China. Delirious with a 9th in Bahrain, and it did not start in China. Still have enough points to keep them in 3rd for the time being. Alfa Romeo, Kublai, and Shazam are now in 5th, I believe. Bahrain, 4th, 8th. China for Kublai, 15th, and it did not start for Shazam. Williams, a 10th last week for Dragonbone, and a 14th last week for Red Hornet. Racing Point. Oh, let's see. Did I miss a driver shakeup? Oh, Shazam technically did not switch to Alfa Romeo, but I've had him on Williams for the past couple of weeks stream, so don't be confused if you've been following him. Dragonbone 10th, as I said. Red Hornet 14th. Racing Point 3rd for 13th. He is a replacement of Hammer Time 44 on Racing Point. So he switches from reserves to full time now. Has been here 2 races in a row, hopefully a 3rd this week. Gore had a 5th place finish in Bahrain, and 2 did not finishes the other weeks. McLaren, following Racing Point, we had a DNF and a DNS and a DNS for Dr. McShorty, which is not correct. I believe that was who he is replacing, which I believe is Tear. He is new to McLaren this week. Yeah, he replaces Tear. And Doc Block 12th, 18th, and 16th. So Dr. McShorty, that is not correct. Sorry about that. We'll get you correct in the driver standings. Toro Rosso, Muffin Man, and Ramrod. Ramrod replaces Jay Warren on Toro Rosso in the full-time driver's seat. Ramrod been able to be consistently in 12th and 11th. Let's see if he can break the 10th place barrier tonight. Muffin Man with a did not start and a 13th. Let's see if he's here this week. Hopefully able to get some points on the board for Toro Rosso. So we still have Some Idiot and Sky Archangel, both with great showings. When they did show up, they are currently full-time reserves. D-Drum is a full-time reserve as well, 17th and 15th. I gotta think he's been going to be taking over at where was that? Racing Point, I think it is. But at any rate, we'll see how it goes next week. So, Terror, Jay Warren, Hammer Time, Sloppy McFlappy, Stunt Riders, Higgs Boson, Faz, and Racer 33 all dropping to the reserves, or staying at the reserves, rather. I believe we now have. Nope, that is not Cosmo with me. That is our lobby. We've got some exciting stuff going on in the lobby here.
I crushed it and put it on the chicken.
Wow. It's on the chicken, everybody. Mute all. Gotta remember to do that each time. It's crushed and put on the chicken. We gotta remember that. All right, back to our slides for the week. We have our driver championship lineup. First in Rogue with 55 points. Capita Hood in second with his first place finish last week with 41 points. Ruda in third with his 30 points. Cream in fourth with 29 points. Some Idiot in fifth with 26 points. Getchum closely behind Some Idiot in with 25 points in sixth. And Cosmo is able to join us. Welcome back, Cosmo.
Thank you.
We're just doing the driver wrap up. We'll get to the track in just a minute. Sky Archangel in seventh with 22 points. Kublai and Shay B are both tied for 16. Should be a good race for them. Dragon Bone is tied with Persian King with 11 points. Gore is in 12th, and Stony is in 13th. That should be updated. Gore with 10 points, Stony with 5 points, Delirious with 2 points in 14th, Shazam with 1 point in 15th, and all other drivers are tied for 16th. That includes Doc Block, Terror, Jay Warren, Muffin Man, D-Drum, Hammer Time 44, Sloppy McFloppy, Red Hornet 90, Higgs Boson, Dr. McShorty, third, D-Drum, and Ramrod. I think D-Drum got 2 mentions there. Look at that. He is in 16th twice. Fantastic. Constructors Championship. As a wrap-up, we've got Ferrari way out in front with 85 points. Mercedes following them with 54 points. Renault closely behind the Mercedes with 52 points. Aston Martin and Haas are very close in 4th and 5th with 26 and 24 points respectively. Alfa Romeo with 17. Williams with 11 in 7th place. Sport Pesa Racing Point F1 team with 10 points in 8th, very close to the Williams with 11 points. And then we have McLaren and Red Bull Toro Rosso bringing up the back with 0 points themselves. All right, now we are going to go on to the hot lap, which this week we did not have time to get the full video put together in time, so we're doing this live, so bear with me for any mistakes that may or may not be made. Let's see how it goes. to be interesting to see what they can do. Cosmo, what do you think the problem areas of this track are going to be this week?
I think the biggest problem will be the castle section. That's probably the trickiest spot on the course.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's a lot of tough turns on this course, a lot of right angles and 90-degree turns. So hopefully they can keep it clean tonight.
Yeah, in the end, you got to keep it out of the wall. There's a lot of walls on this track and a lot of fast right-hand 90-degree corners, as we saw on the hot lap. It's always important. A lot of them, actually, there's a few that are tighter than 90 degrees. Most of them have a wall on one side or the other, so you got to keep it out of that wall. It's
Some on
important to
both.
get around the track. Looks like we're going to have 15 drivers tonight, so we'll jump over there in just a second. This is PPR Season 1, Race 4. We're at Baku. I'm Kermit.
And I'm Cosmo.
Cosmo, we're still working on getting you in to spectate the race as well, but right now
Yeah.
you're along for the ride.
I'm having some issues connecting to the server for whatever reason.
Yeah, we'll blame that one on Cody's. They have obviously not been the most consistent, so we will see how that goes. Let's go ahead and go to qualifying, already in progress. Let's see if we can't send an invite to Cosmo.
See if it works.
That should get started, so I'm not sure we will be able to get it.
I think you can in the pause menu.
Pause menu, race director. There it is. Let's see, view profile. That may or may not be what I want.
Nope. That was broadcast.
Oh, and that's just going to make this awful. All right, I cannot invite player currently. Oh. Nope. Don't think it's going to happen. At least not for tonight. Of course, fitting during qualifying as well. Cosmo, let me know if you're able to broadcast my screen. That may be the best way to do it.
Alright, I'll see what I can do.
Gore into another wall. Without that wing, he is struggling. Got quite a few drivers on their outlap currently. It looks like that will be Kubele is going to be the first. Let's see what...
So, yeah, it looks like I'll be able to watch your broadcast.
Right, well, that's certainly better than nothing. So Kubele is going to be the first coming down the main straight currently. Let's crosses our turn line into that turn one. That's a nice job keeping it tight. Turn two. Nothing crazy. Turn three, just like turn two. Nice and tight. Turn four, a little bit tighter. Walk a little bit closer. Still nothing to worry about. Turn five and six, a little bit of a lockup into turn five, into turn six. Does a good job. Castle section. First one on a hot lap into the castle section. Does a nice job hitting all the apexes there. Ooh, dives down the inside. Potentially a little bit of blocking by Racer 33. Racer 33 behind him into the wall and snaps that axle.
That's rough.
Let's hope he doesn't also get a blocking penalty for Kubele. That would just add insult to the injury. Kubele looks like still continuing the hot lap. Kubele, the first to set a lap time, goes, of course, fastest with next we will have one of the Ferraris. Looks like Ruda coming down the main straight while Young Dagger goes 1 minute 42.
I think I saw Doc Block got disqualified for being in a dangerous place on the track.
Ah, unfortunate. He spun at the wrong place. Ruda goes third fastest with a 1:40. That's one of those unfortunate penalties that the game calls. Very hard to undo while we are in the very hard to do while we're in. Turn the game volume down or your audio up. Can barely hear you guys. Okay. Sorry about that. We're going to go ahead, turn the game down. Got to do a little bit of sound balancing here. All right, just switched it around. Tell me how that is. Turn down the game just a little bit. All right, so Persian King did a 141.9 on his way back. Ruda suffered from the glitch where he has it full throttle. Actually, he might have had it there. Dr. McShorty suffering from the same thing. We have is Gore on his out lap getting ready to start a hot lap. Dr. McShorty crosses the line with a 1:43.2. Red Hornet starts the flyer. Gore starts the flyer on his hard tires. Racer 33 and Doc Block will both be starting at the back of the pack. Chat, go ahead and tell me if the audio is slightly fixed. I'm going to turn myself up just a little bit here. Hopefully solve some of that volume issue here. Gore did not see what happened, but is in the runoff area. Oh, he looks like he got together with one of the Ferraris and potentially one of the McLarens as well. Rogue is currently sitting at the castle section without an axle or a front wing. What a time to cut away from the stream. Rogue will now be starting in third to last position. Looks like Dr. McShorty having trouble getting past Rogue. Finally, Cody's decided it is time to clear the car. Ruda comes through just at the right time, not aware, I am sure, of what had just happened on the track. Almost takes out Gore. We have... Who just came through the castle section? Looks like Persian King came through the castle section with some fury. People did the best to jump out of his way, but it looks like at the very least Ruda and Gore are going to have to restart their laps.
Yeah, and quite a few disqualifications for that. I think McShorty got disqualified for being parked in a dangerous position as well, like just waiting behind that car.
Yeah, unfortunate for Dr. McShorty. There was nothing he could do there. Yeah, absolutely nothing he could do there. Just waiting for the car to be cleared. Did not end up panning out for him. Persian King down the straight here with a 1:41.8. I don't believe he improves. Quite a mess on the track tonight.
Yeah, hopefully it's a little bit better during the race, but I don't expect it to be. It's a tricky track.
It's a very tricky track, especially through that castle section that we called it right before we started qualifying here. That is always a point of contention for the drivers. You hit one of the walls and you're pinballing off the rest of the walls for pretty much the rest of the track.
Especially with no lines.
Yeah, especially without the lines, that makes it tough.
Tricky to find that spot.
That it will. and Kyle makes a good point that that's what happens without the ghosting. We turn that ghosting off, you do run the risk of a car being parked in the middle of a track, on a street track especially like this. I assume the stewards are going to look at the rules and potentially review them before Monaco. Because that's just an unfortunate qualifying ender for Dr. McShorty. He'll be starting towards the back of the grid now.
Yeah.
Cannot be happy with that one.
No, that's rough.
Persian King back into the pits. Kublai on a flyer. Red Hornet rounding the last major corner for his run down the 17, 18, 19, and 20 complex. D-Drum into the pits, presumably for a new set of tires.
Yeah, a lot of hard sets going out on their first try. Hards and softs, well, Racer tried the mediums, but I don't think they worked out well for him.
A little bit of a run wide for Red Hornet, has to go into the runoff area, has to get back onto the track without interfering with anyone else's race. We'll see how he is able to do that. Looks like Ramrod is on a flyer currently. Right along with him, a huge lockup going into the corner. Third goes second fastest with a 140.8. Coming up to turn 5, then turn 6. Good exit from 5, leads to a good entry on turn 6. Through the castle section, keeping it fairly tidy, hitting all the apexes, making sure it doesn't make any mistakes. Fastest lap with the Kublai of 138.7. Ooh, a little bit of a spin from Ramrod, almost into the wall, but does well to save it. Looking to get a time on the board, is going to continue with his current lap for now. At least has the ERS deployment still up in 4 out of 5. We'll see if he dives into the pits for a new set of tires or for a recharge on the ERS. He only has 5 minutes and 40 seconds left, so if he wants to get another hot lap in with full ERS, I imagine he's got a pit now. So he does. He slides into the pits. Creamy Johns will be the next across the line, coming down the main straight. Into the pits, decides wants to get rid of the hards and get back out as quickly as possible. Dagger behind him. Looks like he is either starting his hot lap or going into the pits. Going into the pits. Ooh, almost hits the wall and wrecked, or hits the wall just a little bit. Almost wrecks there. Looks like Gore is into the pits as well. We have Red Hornet coming down the straight currently. We'll see if he goes in for another set of tires. Ruda is currently on his outlap along with D-Drum, and I believe Kublai is on his way back into the pits. So Red Hornet dives into the pits as well. D-Drum will be the next to start his hot lap unless Kublai is going for another. No, Kublai getting out of the way, allowing D-Drum through. D-Drum currently has his fastest lap of a 141.0 on his softs and is going to try for another lap on the mediums. I don't think that's such a bad strategy. You know, you've got fifth locked up with the softs. Might as well get out there and try the mediums. What do you think?
Why not? Get a little more practice on the track, even if you don't have a faster lap, you know?
Now, it's a 26-lap race, and you've got 16 laps max on the mediums, or what they're rated for. 9 laps on the softs. Do you think medium soft is a viable strategy in this race?
If you qualify them, I don't know, but I'm sure the drivers will try.
Passes Ramrod, who's into the wall in his out lap. Wondering if he's got any wing left. Yeah, I think it's worth a shot. It gives yourself the option if you can make the softs last earlier in the race, but I think if you're going to try the mediums at all, I'd like to be starting on the softs.
Yeah, I think so. Give yourself a little bit of an option at the end. Because you can always go to the hards early.
Right, if you have to, yeah, go to the hards a little earlier. You know you're going to make it to the end of the race, but if you're able to stretch those softs just a little bit longer, you can go ahead and switch to the mediums. Through the castle sections for D-Drum, no fuss there. Gets through it nicely, gets the exit out of the castle section.
And I think the possibility for safety cars is pretty high here.
Yeah, I think it's very high. With the update, we have the possibility of, I believe it's a max of 4 safety cars in a 50% race. So be on the lookout for that, both virtual and actual safety car. I would not be surprised if we saw 1 or 2 actual safety cars in a race like this, especially with the castle section being as tight as it is.
Yeah, it's I think we'll see at least one. Well, I suppose we'll have to wait and find out.
That we will. D-Drum looks like he's going to pull out of his lap, potentially go across the line. No, just does not want to go faster than his last time. Gonna get another lap in for practice. Ramrod is going to cross the line. Nope, that was not Ramrod. That was... Oh, Ramrod is now on his hot lap. Dragon Bone, second fastest with a 1:39.9. We will have Creamy Johns cross the line next. No, incorrect. That was Dagger across the line with a 1:42.5. Hornet has yet to set a time. Ramrod has yet to set a time, and Gore has yet to set a time. Gore will be next across the line. Let's see where he lands. Gore goes second fastest with a 1:39.3 on the mediums. Nice lap by Gore. Gonna try and go with the off strategy, starting on those mediums. Persian King is on his outlap, is gonna cross the finish line to start his flyer. D-Drum currently has 1 lap on his softs. It's currently on mediums. 1 lap on the softs he set the time on. Let's go to fitted. Looks like D-Drum is going to be starting his flyer with 49 seconds left in the qualifying session. Ramrod sets a time with a 1:43.2, and Creamy Johns improves his time up to 4th with a 1:40.013. Next across the line will be Red Hornet. Will not be Red Hornet. That was Dragonbone, does not improve his time, stays third with a 1:39.3. Dagger improves his time with a 1:39.9, going faster than his teammate by about 3/100ths of a second. Red Hornet finally sets a time with a 1:44.1, coming in 11th. That's all he needed to out-qualify 4 racers on the grid. Third session is finished. So is Ruta's session. Nice castle section for D-Drum, can always be a little sketchy. Persian King will be next to cross the line. Goes 6th fastest with a 1:40.2. Back to D-Drum. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Looks like we had a little bit of drama in the castle section. D-Drum crosses the line, does not improve his time, stays 9th fastest with a 1:41.0. Ramrod is slowing down, his session will be done. Creamy Johns going into the pit as well. Dragonbone coming up, looks like he's finishing up a flyer at the moment, goes 2nd fastest with a 1:39.3. Just an awful sound coming out of his car. Whoa, runs into the back. I assume that is computer taking over. Yes, Kublai not setting a faster time on Sauce. Happy with the 138.7. Does not think he's going anywhere. Pulls off to the side of the track. Has to do a good way. Nope. Dagger not going to get in Dagger's way. He is not on a flyer anymore. And Red Hornet does not look like he's on a flyer anymore as well. So that should be your starting order, barring any major penalties. Dragonbone or Red Hornet looks like. Let's see if we can get a good view of his front wing here. May be non-existent. There was a little bit of a drama going into the castle section on the last lap here. Yes, missing quite a big chunk of his wing. Not all racers got through that section cleanly.
No, it's. I don't think it'll be that way or I think it'll be that way too in the race.
Oh,
I don't think it's going to be clean.
Not at all. We're going to have a lot of pinball movements going on in that section. Just not easy to keep it off the walls in that section. And as soon as you go around without any ghosting, all the cars behind you have to stop. Let's hope that the game is on top of it with the
car
safety
removal.
cars. Yeah. Car removal and the safety cars. Both.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot of unscheduled pit stops from new wings.
Gore with a 5-position penalty, so he will drop to 7th. So your running order will be Kublai, Dragonbone, Dagger in 3rd, Creamy John's in 4th, Persian King in 6th, 3rd and 6th. Then it'll be Gore in 7th, Ruda in 8th, Dedrum in 9th, Ramrod in 10th, Hornet in 11th, Rogue in 12th, Racer 33 in 13th, Dr. Mick Shorty in 14th, and Doc Bullock in 15th. Both of them were disqualified from the race. Did not happen to see what happened to Doc Bullock, but Dr. McShorty got caught behind the spin of Rogue and unfortunately was disqualified from there. Now would be a good time to mention PPR has started our King of the Grid series. So it's going to be a 4-round single, maybe double elimination, depending on if we have someone to run the lower bracket. Head-to-head race, 5-lap race. First race will be at Azerbaijan. So look for those on our YouTube channel in the upcoming weeks here. It will show some nice head-to-head action, some back and forth, and at a track like Azerbaijan, anything can happen. They will be non-damage races, just to allow for a little bit of hard racing, we'll call it, so no one's race gets ended unfairly, but that doesn't mean if you go around that it's not going to be hard to recover from that. Sends us right out onto the formation lap. Gotta reopen all of our menus. So our grid seems to be top 2 starting on the softs, 3rd, 4th, and 5th all starting on the mediums. 6th place starting on the softs, Ruda in 7th on the hards, Gore in 8th on the mediums, Dedrum in 9th with the softs, Ramrod and Red Hornet 10th and 11th on the mediums, Rogue and Razor 33 and 12th and 13th with the hards and mediums respectively, Dr. McShorty and Doc Bullock bringing up the back in 14th and 15th with the mediums and the hards. Cosmo, if you're starting from any tire compound here, which one do you want to be starting on?
That's a good question. I mean, if you're gonna be risky, mediums aren't bad. If you're planning on a safety car being around, yeah, you might make the mediums last. And if you get it at the right time, it might be good for a pit stop on softs or any other tire. But I don't know. The hards are definitely the safe choice here, I think.
They seem like the
Rogue and
safest.
Doc Block, but I don't know if it's the strategy I'd go with. Personally, I think I'd probably try the mediums.
Yeah, I think the hards seem safest for tire wear. Oh, and we have a Mercedes goes around of either Creamy John's or Dagger. Let's take a look, see if we can't find. Looks like Dagger, whoa, hanging out back there. Gets transported back to the grid. Cody says, that's enough out of you. Let's take you back to the grid. Did not see what happened there. Not necessarily his fault. You can always get cut off by someone behind you. It is the responsibility of the driver behind to Stay out of the way of the driver in front. Not the camera position I wanted. And the last of the drivers, Doc Bullock and Dr. McShorty, form up at the back of the grid. We will be ready to start here in any minute. And here come the lights. And there's a little bit of lag, but they're out and we're off. And my spectator menu has gone away around the first corner. 3 wide in the back of the pack. Doing a good job. Looks like Dr. McShorty loses out and drops to the last. Racer 33 losing out as well, dropping many places. Doing well to recover. Looks like Racer 33 is back in the pack. We have ghosting like crazy. We have a lost wing from Dragon Bone. Where is my spectator menu? There it is. Gore staying right behind Dagger 1, 2, and 3. Into the castle section for the first time. Kublai makes it through. Dagger makes it through. Third makes it through. Let's see if the rest of the pack makes it through. D-Drum. McShorty. And Racer 33 back into the pits. Look like he is potentially out of the race, but still has him on the roster. Doc Bullock bringing up the back of the pack. Dagger looking to get a run down the straight to challenge for first with Kublai. Dagger pulls alongside into turn 1. A little bit of a lockup going a little wide, but Kublai is able to retake the position. Creamy John's dropping fast into the pits, having to get a new wing. Dr. McShorty in the pits as well, along with Dragon Bone 81, all three in the pits. Gore only half a second behind Dagger. Dagger 9/10 of a second behind Kublai. Into the castle section for a second time. The top three make it through, no problems. Rogue making the pass on Ramrod. Ramrod trying to defend the position going into turn 16. Looks like Ramrod comes out ahead just slightly. Rogue gonna fall back, try and get the slipstream. Persian King following Rogue not too far behind, and Ruda only 9/10 behind Persian King.
Yeah, there's a lot of positional battles going on that are pretty tight right now.
Rogue attempting to make the pass on Ramrod, goes to the outside, pinches Ramrod, but gives him just enough room, makes the pass. Let's see if he can make it stick going into turn 2. Persian King gaining on Ramrod fairly quickly, gets the DRS activation down the straight. This is the first lap that DRS is active.
Yeah, and the DRS on that straight is really powerful. You can come from a long way back with that.
Gore a little bit of a spin and a piece of wing sitting on the track. Drops to 7th. Dagger dropping positions as well. Rogue up into third. Has to be happy with that one. Dagger could be missing some wing here, and the castle section is a very tricky section to go into while missing some wing. Top 6 do a good job to avoid any drama in the castle section. We have a yellow flag, sector 2. And is quickly cleared. Rogue coming up on third, looking to make the pass, looking to make up for his crash in qualifying. So far, doing a great job in third.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Especially on the hard tire. Dagger comes out of nowhere and takes the outside line. Gaining quickly on third. Dagger should get the DRS activation, be able to overtake third with no problem. Rogue, whoa, goes all the way in to Dagger currently. Cody's does not know what is going on, except that third is now down into fourth with a lockup and a spin going into turn 1. That will cost him a few positions, to say the least. Third down to 7th currently. Dagger in third, just behind Rogue. Looking to make the pass at any minute. Gore falling down into second in the pits. Ruda down to 12th, at the very least in the pits. Dagger able to make the pass on Rogue. Ramrod getting very close to Persian King. Kubele miles ahead, 9 seconds away from second.
Yeah, that's gotta feel pretty good. That's I think that's what you want on the softs. Just get as far ahead as you can and make your pit stop.
Kubele and Dagger and Rogue make it through the castle section with no issues. So do Rogue and Persian King. Persian King looking for a good finish. Dagger takes it shallow, hits the outside wall, loses a bit of wing. That might hurt him on the straight. He is on the medium, so he does not want to pit yet. We'll see if he chooses to pit for a new wing this lap.
Yeah, and he got a time penalty to go along with that, I think.
Corner cutting and a broken wing. Looks like Rogue is going to make the pass on Dagger. Dagger decides, I will not pit, stays out, even with that little bit of wing damage there. Dagger is still,
decision.
I think so too. This is one of the tracks where your front wing matters the most.
Yeah. This is a rough course without a front wing.
Creamy Johns goes fastest with a 1:43.744. Dagger sends it a little deep, has to slam on the brakes, takes a little bit of extra tire wear, while third is in the pits, dropping positions. Gore loses a position as well to Dragon Ball. Still well within fighting distance. Dagger has got to be seeing the amount of time that he's lost. He's lost 1.7 seconds to Rogue in the last lap. As it is going to have a tough time making that up, especially with his wing damage. We have yellow flag in sector 2, and D-Drum currently parked in the middle of the track, with Creamy Johns coming up behind him, able to pass him just fine. Let's see if Dragonbone can do the same. D-Drum back on his feet, potentially without a wing. Dragonbone passes him without any issue. Dr. McShorty still a ways behind D-Drum yet. We'll have some time to make that up. Red Hornet within 8/10 of Persian King should get the DRS activation down the straight. Red Hornet diving past Persian King. Persian King looking like he may go into the pits here. Persian King decides 4 laps is enough for the mediums. Needs to pit for another one. We'll see if he gets a new wing as well.
Yeah, you might be able to make the hards last long enough to get to the end at this point.
Yep, on to the
Should be
hards.
able to.
New wing for Persian King, dropping quite a few positions. D-Drum into the pits as well, I can only assume with a new wing after his incident with the wall. Dragonbone falling closely behind Gore. Dragonbone staying 8/10 behind. Dr. McShorty closing the gap on Ruda slowly but surely. Rogue, also of note, closing the gap very quickly to Kublai in first. Only 5 seconds back, where 2 laps ago he was a full 8 seconds back from Kublai.
Yeah, I think those soft tires are starting to go off now. So I don't know if he's going to want to pit or if he's going to um, keep him out and try and go for the medium strategy.
In order to make the medium strategy work, Kublai would have to go 4 more laps, I think, at the very least, on that soft tire. At this rate, Rogue is going to overtake him with that amount of life left in those tires.
Yeah, I think so. And it looks like the hards are just starting to come into their own, especially against those softs.
Rogue has 6 laps on the hards. Kublai has 6 laps on the softs. The hards obviously going to be holding up much better at this point in the race, but pit strategy will play a big difference as to when each driver pits and their pace on their new choice of tire. Gaps remaining pretty consistent throughout the field, 4 to 5 seconds between most drivers. Shortest gap right now between Persian King and third. Persian King trailing by 1.3 seconds. Stops so far, we have Kublai, Rogue, Dagger, Ramrod, and Red Hornet yet to make a stop. Creamy Johns, Gore, Dragonbone, Ruda, Dr. McShorty, third, Persian King, Doc Block, and D-Trum have all made one stop. Creamy with one stop on the 5 laps on the hards, potentially looking to make them last to the end of the race, although that will be a tall order. Gore as well, 3 laps on the hards, potentially going to the end of the race. Dragonbone, I think, will be hard-pressed to make those mediums last, and there is almost no way Ruda can make those softs last to the end of the race.
No, Rude will have to pit again. Those softs won't make it. He'll have a puncture.
Ruda looking up to make his time early. 6/10 behind Dragonbone, will get the DRS activation down the straight, provided he maintains his gap. Dagger overtakes Kublai, Kublai into the pits onto the hard tire. Kublai is going to try and make those last to the end. Dragonbone having some connectivity issues. Going right into Ruda. Ruda right through. Ramrod dropping to 6th in the pits, dropping to 7th. Will probably drop to 9th before he makes a full exit. Ramrod down to 9th, 10th. Looks like Ramrod is getting a new wing, still in the pits, going to drop down to 12th. Red Hornet coming up quickly behind Creamy Johns, only a half second behind. Dragonbone still hot on the heels of Ruda, going to look to make that pass soon, I can imagine. Creamy Johns, 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. As of right now, that's going to affect his track position. Red Hornet is only half a second behind him, able to put that pressure on Creamy Johns, make him cut that corner. Red Hornet definitely not as fast through the castle section as Creamy Johns is on those hard tires. Worth mentioning, Red Hornet's tires are 7-lap-old medium, so their grip is starting to fall away, although by no means have hit the cliff yet.
He should have a handful of laps left before he hits the cliff.
Doc Balak dropping a position. Third in 12th, only 6/10 behind Ramrod in 11th. Both on similar age tires. Ramrod on slightly newer tires. Red Hornet dropping back. Looks like it's had a little bit of a spin. Still looks like he has most of his wing though, so should not have to pit. However, on a track like this, just the slightest bit of wing damage can force a pit stop. Dagger, 10 seconds behind Rogue, looking to close that gap after his pit stop. Sorry, Dagger is not pitted, neither has Rogue. Rogue made that pass and is now 10.9 seconds ahead of Dagger. Kublai was out front beforehand, has made the pit. My mistake, is now 4.6 seconds behind Dagger. Rogue yet to pit. Dr. McShorty unsure of whether his connectivity is going to let him make the pass or not. Down the inside, noses out Red Hornet. Red Hornet definitely not able to get as good of an exit. Dr. McShorty makes the pass.
Yeah, and if he's got wing damage, you don't want to risk it going into a corner like that.
Definitely not. You may be able to hold it together till the end of the race, but if you have a loss in downforce like that, it can be very tough to keep it together for the rest of the race. Dagger falling back slightly with 12.5 seconds to Rogue. Kublai remain. Ooh. Red Hornet into the wall a little bit harder. If he did not want to change his wing before, I'd imagine he's going to have to now.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
A hit like that either shows that your wing has degraded enough to where you probably should pit. Looks like it took out a little more because he's having trouble keeping it together coming into turn 20 here. Lining himself on the left side of the track for that pit entrance. Gonna open the door for Persian King and Ramrod to get way out ahead as far as the time gap goes. Into the pits, gonna need a new wing. Gonna be at least 25 seconds for that pit stop, possibly longer. Red Hornet onto the hards, hoping to make that set last till the end of the race.
Yeah, I think it should. I don't see why it wouldn't. Another 15 laps.
Yeah, it should be well within the lifespan of those hard tires. Sector 2, yellow flag. Ooh, Dagger is out of the race. In the castle section, has a DNF for Dagger. Virtual safety car out. All drivers are to slow down. Maintain a virtual safety car pace until the car is cleared. Unfortunate disqualification from Dagger there, but certainly not unexpected in a race like this.
No, and especially in that spot. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. Just you start pinballing around there, and it's real easy to bust an axle. lose a wheel and end your race.
A little bit of a break for Red Hornet there. I think part of that was during his pit stop, but he is now a full 57 seconds behind third. Took him a full 60-ish seconds for his pit stop. That is a massive amount of time.
Yeah, it is.
Creamy gets a little bit of a better start off the virtual safety car, diving in on Kublai. Rogue coming out of the pits, right between Kublai and Creamy. This is going to be a fantastic battle for first. Kublai and Rogue both have had their pit stop. Both are looking to make their tires last to the end of the race. Rogue on the mediums, of course. Kublai on 4-lap old hards. Creamy having to do a little bit of swerving to not run into the back of the Rogue during that braking point. Kublai with a little bit of a lockup in front of Rogue. All three drivers going into turn 5. Good exit from all three into turn 6.
And that safety car really helped Rogue out a lot.
Yeah, it really cut down the time of his pit stop.
8-9 seconds behind Kublai. Maybe not quite that far, but 5-6 if he pitted under normal conditions.
All three of our top drivers through the castle section, no problems at all. Rogue right on the heels of Kublai. Rogue should get the DRS activation provided he does not pass before the DRS line. Creamy Johns falling back ever so slightly, but should still have DRS activation going into the turn 1.
Yeah, and those 10-lap old tires just don't quite have the same grip as the mediums do that Rogue has, or even the 4-lap old that Kublai has. You can see him fall back.
Goes to the inside. Rogue looks like he's going to be able to make it stick. Gore goes fastest lap with a 1:43.1. We'll see if Kublai is able to maintain the distance. I imagine Kublai wants to be within a few seconds of Rogue. Those mediums are going to fall off faster than the hards, but not for now. Right now the mediums are faster. Oliver, I see, says someone has disliked the stream. You know, tonight I don't necessarily blame them. We didn't have our stuff together. However, if you're out there watching, looks like this may be fun. You want to try your hand at commentating. You want to try announcing. You want to try putting together some videos for the stream. We're always looking for great new members to bring on the staff. Expand our deep bench of great commentators, great graphic designers. Send us an email.
Are they still looking for a commentator for Xbox? I know they were looking for a D3 commentator for a while.
Yeah, I think we're still looking for an Xbox D3 commentator, and then Xbox D1 commentator is able to do a lot of the nights, but I know not every night, so it would be good to have a backup for that as well. Creamy with the DRS activation is going to close the gap ever so slightly to Kublai. Runs a little bit wider. Kublai gets a little bit better exit. Going to make up some of that time that he lost to DRS. Dragonbone into the pit. Getting rid of his mediums, we'll see what he goes on to. I believe this will be his second pit, so he could go on to another set of the mediums if he wanted.
I think that'd be the best strategy. I don't know if you could make the softs last another 12, 13 laps.
13 laps would be quite the stretch for the softs.
And the hards just wouldn't. I don't think it'd be worth it to go on the hards if you got a fresher set of mediums to go on to, you know.
Absolutely, the mediums seemed perfectly set for this amount of race distance left, and he does go on to the mediums. So Dragon Bone on the mediums, looking to finish those out for the rest of the race. He's going to need every bit that those tires have to give him. With Ruda, only 2 laps on his mediums, going to need to hunt him down.
Yeah, it'll be tough. I think he's just gonna have to have the raw pace on him.
Yeah, with 7.7 laps behind Ruda, he's going to have to make up roughly half a second per lap all the way till the end of the race in order to close that gap and then make the pass. As of right now, he's already fallen a tenth behind, so it's not looking great. Kublai going to the left, trying to break the slipstream of Creamy Johns. Creamy Johns diving around the outside. Kublai not letting him have position. Kublai coming out ahead. Creamy not giving up so easily. Creamy with a little bit of a slide, but will get the DRS activation to hopefully make up some of that ground that he lost. Creamy keeping it together nicely, but if Kublai and Creamy both continue battling at this pace and wearing their tires, they're going to hand the race to Rogue. In a nutshell, Rogue already 2.4 seconds out ahead of second place, with only 3 laps already on his medium tires.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just loving this battle behind him. Giving him a chance to stretch his legs a little bit, get a little lead.
You've got to like the position you're in if you're Rogue. Third into the pit, dropping several places. Let's see what kind of exit Creamy can get on turn 16 here. Looking to stay in the slipstream of Kublai all the way up to the DRS line. Creamy for 0.49 seconds behind. Will have DRS activation as he crosses the DRS detection line. Then crosses the activation line. He's going to close this gap. Creamy into the pits, shedding the hards, deciding that they are starting to go, not wanting to stay on them much longer. Gore makes the pass on Creamy. Creamy onto another set of the mediums. Willing to bet that Gore's tires are going to fall out before the end of the race. Creamy, pretty good pit stop, I would say. Lost 1 position to Gore and is only 13 seconds behind Gore. He's gonna 14.2 seconds behind third place. Gonna have to do a lot of work to close that gap before the end of the race.
I think he can do it though. I think it's a achievable task for him to get back onto the podium.
Third easily makes the pass on D-Drum going into turn 15. Turn 16, third gets the better exit. On those fresh mediums, looks like he made a good call as well. He has 12 seconds to go to track down 10th and get into the points.
Yeah, that one might be a little bit tougher.
That will be tough. We have a 5-lap wear difference between drivers in D-Drum making a little bit of a tap on third. The stewards are definitely going to look at that one, but I think third came out okay. Looks like D-Drum lost quite a bit of wing there, having quite a few issues, and a safety car is triggered. I do not necessarily know. Oh, there goes third. He looks like lost a wing as well. Full safety car, I believe the drivers have to stay below third. Takes that position back, because I believe D-Drum, nope, third forced to hand the position back to D-Drum, even though it seemed like D-Drum made the pass after the safety car was deployed. They said no. So, full safety car deployed. Rogue, Kublai, and Gore all in the pits.
And if people want to take a risk, they could switch to the softs here. It'd be an interesting strategy. They might last. I think they'll last to the end here, but
9 laps on the softs is doable, but not necessarily recommended. I think medium is going to be the tire of choice here.
But if they're gonna get a couple laps under the safety car as well, so I don't know. Looks like mediums though are gonna be what they go with. So
looks like Ruda is going to stay out, deciding that his 5-lap old mediums are enough to get him to the end of the race, and that's where he wants to stay. Ruda gaining a few positions. Dragonbone as well stays out. Falls behind Dr. McShorty. Persian King gaining some positions. Gaining opposition in the pit. So we have had Rogue onto new mediums, Creamy onto just pitted last lap. Unfortunate timing for the safety car for him. Kublai pitted for new mediums this lap. So did Gore. Ruda decided to stay out on his 5-lap old mediums. We'll have to take those mediums to a total of 14 laps to get to the end of this race. Dr. McShorty, fresh mediums for him. Dragonbone, new mediums for him a few laps ago. Already has 3 laps on those. Persian King, 0 laps on his mediums. Wanted new ones. Ramrod, 0 laps on his. D-Drum, choosing to stay out on 11-lap old hearts. What do you feel about that decision?
I don't like it. I think I'd have gone in. You're gonna get to go to the back anyways. You're bad at the back of the pack anyways. Take the risk. Get some fresh tires on. Looks like everyone else around him is on fresh tires, so
He's going to have 2 drivers behind him, both Red Hornet and Third on fresh mediums, and you're on 11 laps old. D-Drum is going to be have a target on his back for both of those drivers. D-Drum may feel good right now being in 10th in the points, but it's going to be extremely tough for him to hold on to that.
yeah, I think so. We'll see. Now it should be a sprint to the finish because the medium should have all the life in the world to make it to the end of this race.
Rated to go 13 to 16 laps is their maximum. We are at 9 laps left in the race. Safety car is obviously not in this lap, so we'd be in 8. We have a couple cars into the pits. Ruda and Dragonbone deciding to go into the pits this time around. Saw what the field was doing around them and decided that the 4 to 6 lap olds are not going to be enough. Ruda onto the softs. We'll see what Dragonbone does.
I think that's a good call.
Dragonbone onto the softs as well. That will be interesting. As a bottle floats across the pit lane. D-Drum into the pits as well. We'll see if he goes with mediums or softs. D-Drum, I think that is a good call. You cannot be on 11-lap old tires while everyone around you is on fresh tires.
No, I don't think that would work for him. I think he would have ended up in last.
I think you're right. D-Drum deciding he's going onto the softs as well, going to try and make them last. Now 8 laps. Potentially 7 if the safety car is not in this lap. The issue he's going to have now is he has to catch up to the back of the pack before the safety car goes in. If the safety car goes in this time around, he may not be to the back of the pack yet. If it goes in next time around, I think he'll have no problem catching the pack.
Yeah. And D-Drum, I think, had a 5-second speeding penalty in the pit lane, so keep that in mind towards the end of the race.
D-Drum going to have to put in a lot of work to keep himself out ahead of third and potentially pass Red Hornet. So any pass he has to make, he has to pass and then put 5 seconds on them to make it stick. Otherwise, his 5-second penalty is going to knock him down a position towards the end of the race.
Correct. And that's, yeah, that'll, with 8, 7, maybe 7 laps, depending on when the safety car comes in, that'll make it tough.
That will. Definitely not going to be easy. I believe it would have told us if the safety car is coming in this lap already. Yes, the lights are still on. So, safety car goes around the track one more time. Going to give D-Drum and Third both a chance to catch up to this pack.
Again, hopefully it'll go in next lap and we could resume racing.
Not to mention now we only have to make the softs last 7 laps, and that seems very doable.
Yeah, especially after a couple laps under the safety car. Those guys in the softs might be looking at moving up a couple positions on the restart if they could keep it close.
If they can keep it close, they're going to have a lot more grip around these tight corners. The trick is going to be making sure that the other driver on the mediums is able to avoid you. Almost an incident there from Gore into Kublai. Both drivers barely missing each other by inches.
And if you remember at the beginning of the race with Kublai on his softs, they really only lasted 5 or 6 laps of like good hard racing. So I mean, and he did have a full tank of fuel, but they start to die pretty quick.
True, and with while less fuel in the car does mean your tires aren't working explicitly as hard around those corners, the lighter car does give it a tendency to slide out on those corners, which can end up wearing your tires more in the end anyway. You got to be careful with that.
Yeah, and the mediums will be good till the end. So if they're gonna have to make something stick quick with the softs, I think. Get a little distance ahead of them so they don't get caught at the end by the medium runners.
Safety car coming around turn 15 at the moment. We should be getting the signal that it is coming in at any minute. Safety car pulling away, but that could be Rogue's doing. I have not seen the signal. Lights are out on the safety car, so it will be coming in this lap. Rogue backing up the pack. Once Rogue goes, he cannot back off. He has to stay at full throttle once he decides to go, but has not decided that that is going to be what he's doing yet. Backing up the pack, making sure everyone gets as close as possible, maximizing his chance to catch them off guard. Dr. McShorty, 5-second penalty, severe collision with Gore. Rogue, and he's off, and the rest of the pack comes up behind him. Kublai, doing his best to stay on Creamy Johns. Looked like they got very similar getaways from the line. Yellow flag coming out, looking like we've had some contact at the back. Kublai narrowly missing Creamy Johns on the turn into turn 1. Turn 2, drivers keeping it clean. Too wide into turn 2 from Ruda and Ramrod. Dr. McShorty going down the outside, trying to make up some of that time. D-Drum dropping to 12th, having some issue keeping up with third on the mediums. D-Drum in third, battling for position back and forth. Into the castle section. We'll see how our drivers do. Looks like most of the drivers have made it through without any issue. Everyone through the castle section on the restart. Kublai, 4/10 behind Creamy Johns. Going to be looking very quickly to make that pass. Down the straight, looks like Gore will be looking to make the pass on Kublai. Kublai looking to make the pass on Creamy, both with DRS. Just kidding, after the restart, no DRS activation this lap. Rogue with the fastest lap in a 1:42.1 on those fresh mediums.
I think they should get it back next lap.
Yes. DRS being disactivated for the first 2 laps after any restart, whether that be the original start of the race, restart of a full safety car, does not include the virtual safety car. Ruda only 1/10 behind Persian King, going to be looking to make a pass fairly quickly here. Has to make sure he's got the room, otherwise it could spell disaster for both himself and Persian King. Ruda getting very close to Persian King, having to slam on the brakes and back off just a little bit. Gore, Kublai, Creamy, all keeping the gap pretty consistent with 6/10, 7/10, and 9/10 respectively. Ruda only 2/10 behind Persian King, getting very anxious to make this pass on Persian King. Needs to make this pass soon so we can start making up time on 5th place. Looks like Dr. McShorty got through the castle section ever so slightly slower than Persian King did. Persian King closing that gap as well, now down to 8/10. Dragonbone only 1/10 behind Ruda. Going to be looking to take that position from Ruda as soon as Ruda makes the pass from Persian King, if not before. Top 3 over the DRS detection line, but it is still not active. It will be active this next lap. DRS back online. Persian King goes down the side of Dr. McShorty looking to make the pass, both on similarly worn tires. Ruda coming in very hot from the back, doing good to keep it together. Ruda hot on the heels. Both Persian King and Ruda will have DRS activation down the second straight. Dragonbone coming up very quickly on Ruda. Persian King pulls aside alongside Dr. McShorty. Rogue has left the session. I have no idea where he has gone. Ooh, Dr.
Wow.
McShorty pinching Ruda against the wall. Ruda slamming Dr. McShorty into the wall. Dragonbone ghosting through the both of them in a giant break for him. Dragonbone up into 6th. Dr. McShorty into 7th. Ruda staying in 8th. Creamy Johns, whether he saw Rogue leave the session or not, now is his chance to make up that 8/10. Gore extremely close to Kublai, hoping to take 3rd position from him. Creamy closing that gap ever so slightly to Rogue, only 4/10 behind. Dr. McShorty within 7/10 of Dragonbone. Dragonbone within 6/10 of Persian King. Gore making the pass on Kublai. Coming alongside, gets the DRS activation. Kublai does not have the DRS. Gore up into 2nd. Rogue drops down to 4th. Better reconnect soon. Rogue down to 8th. Rogue is now into the pits, whether that is himself or the AI, I am unsure, but they decided that he needed new softs. Unfortunate for Rogue. Drops back to 11th.
Oof. Yeah, and hopefully he comes back, but I don't think he's back in this session currently.
No, even if he comes back, I doubt he's going to be able to make up 10 positions in the 3 laps left.
No, I don't think so. Tough break for him and Ferrari.
That is a tough break. I think that will still be enough to keep them in the top points, especially with the DNF from Dagger. Kublai keeping that gap very consistent. Ruda, Dragonbone, and Persian King. Persian King has been able to make the pass on Dragonbone. Not sure if Rogue is back in the session, but he's making up time on 3rd for 10th now. Rogue may be able to still save a point by the end of the race.
Yeah, a point or two. Still looks like 3rd is pretty close to D-Drum as well.
Gore, fastest lap with a 141.8. Ruda falling back. Dragonbone and Persian King fighting it out. Dragonbone going through Persian King with his connectivity issues. Stewards will have to make a decision. Connectivity might be on Codemasters this evening. There's been a lot of this. Dragonbone and Persian King going back and forth, unfortunately not because of great action on track. Ruda comes through and takes out Persian King. Persian King is out of the race. Ruda is out of the race as well. He has retired. Wow. Unfortunate for Renault and Ferrari.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. That was just a mistake by Ruda.
Comes plowing through there, may have been thrown off by connectivity issues, but either way, overcooked it into the entrance, looking to take his chance, and takes out Persian King. What an end to the
And,
race, ladies and gentlemen.
everyone who finishes the race will get a point tonight.
That is correct. Everyone in the points. It's just a matter of how many points will they get. Rogue climbing back up the ladder ever so slowly. Kublai 1 second behind Gore. Gore 7/10 behind Creamy, and I believe Creamy has a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting that he picked up earlier in the race. Rogue has joined. His AI was able to make at least one pass on its own. Let's see if he can't take it from here. Save some points from Ferrari, who has had an outstanding race up until the end here. Just tragic.
Just like real life, sadly.
Ferrari able to hold it together until most of the way through the race, just throws it away. Gore with a little bit of a lockup. Has got to be listening to Jeff to see if there's a time penalty there. May come out ahead in this battle.
It was an interesting decision to pit for the softs at the end of the race by the AI.
Yeah, very unfortunate as well, even if his AI decided to run similar lap times to what he had been before. He's probably looking at 3rd or 4th, as opposed to the 7th that Rogue is running in now.
It's a Ferrari strategy.
That's that Ferrari strategy, deciding to pit for the softs. Expecting Ruta to cause a safety car there, but unfortunately, that is not so. Gore 4/10 behind Creamy, may or may not need to make this pass for first position. Gets the DRS, will be very close to making the pass. Goes left, goes right, pulls alongside Creamy, squeezes Creamy to the inside. Both drivers get a fantastic exit. Gore gets off slightly better. Gore has position on track. Creamy gets the DRS activation, will hold his gap constant. At the very least, looks like he will get down to 1/10. Gonna go down the inside, and Gore has to give him room. Gore gets bumped, goes around. Creamy is gonna take that position. Gore has to do his best to hold that whatever position he can to get back in the race. That is going to be submitted to the stewards. I can almost guarantee it. Gore down into 3rd, unfortunately. Running first, now down into 3rd.
That was a rough incident. I don't think Gore thought Creamy was going to be there.
I think that's going to be up to the stewards. I think both drivers have a case. I think that was an extremely dangerous section there. Creamy hits the wall on the exit of the castle section, loses a wing, may or may not be able to make it to the end of the race. Looks like he's got it together enough to potentially make it around the rest of the track, but we'll see if Gore can retake that position. 1.8 seconds, losing position very fast to Gore. If Creamy can get a clean exit on this last exit, he may have a benefit from the lack of wing and the downforce on the main straight. Creamy's got to be able to get it around these corners, though. Gore just flies up behind him, runs into the back, taking out both drivers. Dr. McShorty doesn't know it, but he is in position to make up another spot. Creamy is out of the session on the main straight. That is awful.
What an end to this race.
Gore gets a 5-second time penalty for an unserved penalty. Dr. McShorty gets another 5, because why the hell not?
And Rogue almost makes it back onto the podium.
Hell, Racer 33 almost made it onto the podium at this rate. He wasn't even in the race. Oh my god. And the AI decided there wasn't enough action on track, deciding to play some bumper cars. Oh my god, that was an exhausting second half of the race. Let's see what the hell happened here as far as penalties go. They're going to be all over the place.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Very, very interesting end of the race there. Not at all what I expected after how clean they kept it for the first 24 laps.
No, I was expecting the first half of the race to be the problem section, and turns out it's the last quarter of the race that turns out to have all the accidents. Oh my God, it sure made for an exciting race, but very disappointing when we have this many DNFs. That's one of the nice things about racing on a digital platform, ladies and gentlemen. You can be a little more excited at the DNFs because no drivers are in danger. Always something unfortunate to see in person. Still
Just
unfortunate
their
to see
pride.
digitally, but now just their pride is hurt. Penalties all over the grid. Kublai takes first position. Gore comes in second position, even with his 5-second time penalty. Rogue takes third. Dr. McShorty takes fourth. Red Hornet takes fifth. Dragonbone takes sixth. Third takes seventh. D-Drum takes eighth. Ramrod takes ninth. Creamy John 10th. Persian King 11th. Ruda 12th. Doc Balak 13th. Dagger 14th. And then we have a bunch of drivers, and that's pretty much it. That was everyone that was in the race. Wow. DNFs all over the place. Creamy going out on the last lap. Had a chance to win it. So did
On the
Gore.
last straight.
Oh, on the last straight, too. Barely the last corner. That was after turn 19 into turn 20. He had to be expecting that, at least from the fact that his wing was gone. Didn't want to give up the position to Gore. But man, did he not have to send it quite that hard. Could have still saved third, instead dropping to 10th. 1 point for Creamy, even though he did not finish the race. 2 points for Ramrod, 4 for D-Drum, 8 for third. Wait, 15th for Dragonbone, and however many else go to the rest of the grid. Oh my God, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, the craziest end to a race so far this year.
Yes, that was. I cannot believe that. That was absolutely insane. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to have. That is the wrong post-race card. We're going to have a different one for you here. Oh, man. So there you have it, folks. There is Baku, Azerbaijan.
Well done, Baku.
Well done, Baku. Just never fails to disappoint. Never fails to disappoint. Wow, my heart's racing. This is ridiculous. We had so many drivers in, so many drivers out. Looking to go in now. Let's see. Kublai took that race? Yeah, he was number one?
Yep.
All right, he is in our interview room right now. We're going to hop over and talk to him, see what he has to say. My questions are not going to be nearly as precise as they normally are, just because I was not expecting this outcome. All right, let's go talk to Kublai, see what he has to say. Kublai, congratulations on the podium finish. Absolutely insane end to the race.
Wow, what happened there?
Oh man, thank you so much. That was my first league race win. I'm very happy. I'm actually amazed it was at Baku, but you know what? Love Baku even more now.
Baku never failing to deliver an exciting race. I have to say, you were one of them. All of the crashes considered, Kublai, you ran the most consistent race pace, I'd have to say, throughout the whole race. How many pits did you end up doing? It's hard to gather data on that.
I had 2 pits. I did soft to hard whenever the safety car came out, which I honestly didn't think was going to come out after all the crashes I've seen. Went on to the mediums.
Mediums after the last safety car, that's right. So
Yep.
Obviously it worked out really well for you, but did you consider going to the softs after that last safety car?
I did, but then I remembered that I qualified on all my softs, which was probably a mistake. So I didn't have a really fresh pair of softs, so I went with the mediums instead.
That's a good call, though. That's a mistake I often find myself making is, this is the tire compound I want. However, if you've already used them, they're definitely not going to be as fast as they should be.
Exactly. And it's on Baku too, so the tire wear is already 10 plus.
Yeah, as we've seen, we've had a lot of issues with tire wear, drivers sliding out, and of course when you slide out at Baku, there's probably a wall there.
Yep, I'm actually amazed. I don't know if you saw it, but young Dagger just completely binned it right in front of me, which caused a virtual safety car, which was definitely in Rogue's favor, because he had the free pit. But
I didn't see that it was in front of you. We saw him bin it and the visual safety car get triggered, but overall that made for an exciting race. So, any closing thoughts on Baku looking ahead to race 5, which I believe is what's race 5 even?
Spain.
Spain.
in terms of Spain, I don't expect anything from me. I'm not a fan of the track. I think it's boring. Not probably much, but I feel like Baku was definitely justice. I think I got shafted in Australia for sure. I feel like I got shafted in Bahrain as well with the lap 1 incident, but stuff happens. I feel like I'm probably going to win a couple more races, hopefully by the end of the season, and definitely give Rogue some pressure since he got P3 magically, and hopefully, make sure he doesn't run away with points. That's the goal.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and we hope to see you back here next week. Congratulations on your first PPR win this season.
Thank you. Don't count on it next week, but thank you.
All right. We'll see what you can do.
See it.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Now, while we're waiting for whoever was in position 2 after that debacle of a race to come in and join us, let's see if we can't get him in here. Oh, man. Oh.
No, I still can't believe the end of that race. That was insane.
I think it was Gore. I think Gore was in the second position there.
I believe so.
I think it was Gore and then Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, the end of that race was absolutely insane. Luckily, we caught, I think, most of it on camera, which is always hard to do with
Yeah, I
this
think
system.
so.
But, never out of the question.
Yeah, if Rogue or Gore want to get on, we'll give them a couple more minutes, I think. But
Yeah, we've got a couple more minutes. We'll wait around for them, see if they're not going to join us here. But obviously, a lot of excitement. Going to be excited to go back and watch that race. We're going to see this race of all races. I'm going to try and pull some of the incidents for next week. Of course, the stewards are going to have to comb through those with a fine-tooth comb. No chance.
looks like we got Rogue.
Hey,
Hello.
there's Rogue.
I
Rogue.
thought Gore would get in here, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see if Gore joins. We'll go a little bit out of order. So, Rogue, congratulations on your P3 finish. A little bit sketchy there towards the end.
Yeah, a little sketchy.
So how do you feel your race went overall? It's hard to keep track of. Everything I was thinking during the race went out of my mind in the last few laps there.
Went pretty well until my internet dropped for about 5 seconds. So
That's right. So still doing a very good job to get back up into third. Was it your decision or was it the AI's decision to dive into the pits for a new set of softs?
AI, wasn't even me.
Look at that. Fantastic decision from the AI there, deciding your race hadn't been hard enough, wanted to give you another pit there, and make it
Gotta
that
make it
much
fun at the
harder.
end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really. Oh man, I was surprised I even got that podium. At that point, I wasn't even looking at penalties. I was just freaking going balls to the wall, dude.
Yeah, go as fast as you can while avoiding all of the debris and shrapnel on track. Overall, you were able to do really well to keep it together through most of the race. Looks like your battle was mainly between yourself, Gore, and Creamy. How do you feel your tire strategy stacked up against theirs?
Uh, Went pretty well since I got through the field pretty fast because a lot of people were having incidents and I was just keeping clean. And so I got to the field pretty early, got up to the front, and then safety car came out pretty quickly, so it worked out and got some fresh tires like everyone else.
Yep, and a second set of fresh tires to boot after that. Well, of course, the fresh tires certainly don't hurt on a track like this. Whenever there's a turn, there's a wall to go along with it. So glad you were able to keep it together there. Any final thoughts on the race today?
Could have been better, but still, even though I didn't get the win that I definitely would have gotten regardless. Um, Pretty proud, no incidents, no damage, no nothing besides my own internet.
Yeah, clean race from you. Of course, the internet going down never helps. And, well, we'll see you in Spain next week. Hopefully, you get a better chance. And then, of course, you and I have our matchup in
Yeah.
the King of the Grid. Whether that'll be today or tomorrow, we can talk later on that.
Yeah, we can do it tonight if you want.
Okay, all right.
Good with me.
Well, have a great rest of your night. I'll probably talk to you pretty soon.
Alrighty. See you, man.
All right, later.
Thanks for the commentating, y'all.
All right,
Yeah,
good luck.
thank you. All right, we'll see if Gore wants to hop in here or if he is too busy pulling screenshots from his recording to report to the stewards. I see a ton of them coming in. Let's see if I can.
I don't either.
Let me see
Oh,
if I
looks like
can.
we got Gore.
Hello.
Oh, hey,
Hello.
Gore, welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the second place finish.
I'm gonna call it a fourth place because Rogue lagged out and then Creamy DNF'd because he didn't have a wing on the straight. So, but it was a fun race.
Well, Creamy didn't necessarily DNF because of the lack of wing. He definitely DNF'd because of the wall. So it'll be the Cody's decided that you got second. So we'll see where the stewards decide to land everything. I can't imagine they're going to change positions around too much. But overall, I would say it's a pretty consistent race from you.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in quali. I qualied third on the mediums, 5/10 off the guys on softs. But I had a 5-place grid penalty from when Rogue went into the wall and his DNF car was sitting there. I tried to push past it so I didn't get DQ'd. And yeah, got a 5th place.
That's what that was from. Yeah, you definitely came off better on that incident than one of the McLarens did. I think it was Dr. McShorty got disqualified from that incident.
Yeah, we were next to each other. So had I not done what I did, I would have gotten DQ'd too.
Yeah, it makes sense. One of the dangers of racing with no ghosting on a track like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Obviously a really hectic race. Any other takeaways?
Well, just, I think Rogue was super fast, and so was Creamy, and they both raced really clean. And yeah, I think it was a great race from everybody. But, places like this where a small mistake nobody makes intentionally can cost a lot of people their races. So I do see a lot of DNS, but I don't think it was, people going crazy. I think it's just small stuff can have huge ripples around in Baku.
Yeah, that's a good insight. On any track like this where the walls are so close to the boundaries, you're bound to have issues like this.
Yeah.
Well, great. So, looking ahead to Spain next week, how are you on Spain? Is it a strong track for you?
No. It's about China for me, so I'd like to think I'm pretty strong here as far as compared to my normal. And Spain is just gets a little bit boring, and I let my guard down, and I'm not a huge fan of it.
All right. Well, good luck to you next week. We'll see how
Yeah,
that
thank you.
holds up.
All right, thank you guys. Great job on the commentating too.
And have
Thank
a good
you.
night.
Yep, have a good night. All right, Cosmo, final thoughts on Baku this week.
Not what I expected, but as entertaining as I expected.
Absolutely. Never failing to deliver at a track like this. You've got tight turns, you've got fast action, you've got cars going into the wall left and right. Felt like I was practically screaming on the last few laps there.
Yeah, I think so. Things got out of control really quick there.
Yes, they did. Persian King Artie in the chat, a little salty at Ruda with his amazing send on him. We'll try to get some of that video up for next week. I don't have anything queued up, and I'm not just going to go full screen here. So we'll get some of that for next week. It's already starting to pour into the inbox. We'll get it sorted. We'll maybe have that as an opener next week and go from there. Well, Cosmo, looking ahead to Spain, will I see you there next week?
Yeah, I should be there.
All right, fantastic. Well, from North America, this has been PPR Pole Position Raising. I'm Kermit.
And I'm Cosmo.
Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you this time next week. Good night,
Have a good
everybody.
night, everybody.